You're not ready for the lonely life of alpha. That's the problem with a bunch of these guys. They're not ready for the lonely life of alpha. When I mean lonely life, I don't mean you're not gonna have people around you. I mean that people gonna be in your life for seasons. So when people say level up, hey man, alphas, we've been leveling up forever. We don't call it leveling ups. We call it progression. Who don't want to listen to this alpha energy, this alpha information? Because as an alpha male, I want my partners to brush up on the scale. I feel like it's my job to give them the game. And I'll tell you why. Right after we elevate to a higher plane. Prepare for takeoff. Now, when I say that an alpha male can't have beta male partners, I know that sounds crazy. Because when you're a beta male, then your partners are beta males, because betas of a feather flock together. So when you start to become the most alpha version of yourself, you start to change. You start to not fit in as well with your partners. Hence, you ask the question, as an alpha male, what do I do if my beta male partners won't embrace the game? Well, let me tell you something. If you ask that question, the mere fact that you pose that question means that you're not an alpha male at all. For two reasons. First of all, if you are still hanging with those guys, then you are not different from them. You know something that they don't know. See, there's a huge gap between knowing how to be the most alpha version of yourself and actually applying it to your life. And if you still have that question, you're not applying it to your life. It just feels good to know. But I want you to think about this. I don't have any beta male partners. I don't know any alpha males who have beta male partners. Because at the very moment you decide that you're going to go all in on doing whatever it takes to become the most alpha version of yourself, anything contrary to that becomes obsolete, becomes immediately expendable, becomes immediately non-existent. See, when you throw yourself all into anything that opposes that, you are totally against. So you can't be striving to be the most alpha version of yourself when you're fresh out of a beta male thought process. If you're still trying to help other guys who are still stuck in that thought process, you're still stuck in that thought process. You don't have the time, energy, or the know-how to try to lead other men out of that situation. That's why you're asking the question, why won't my beta male friends listen to me? Because in their eyes, you're still a beta male. The problem is you don't see yourself as a beta male anymore. Even though your life is exactly the same. If you're with the woman you've been beta with and everything is still the same in that scenario, just because you know you're in a beta situation doesn't mean you're not in it anymore. You have to change your situations and circumstances. Now, on the rare occasion, a man can find the most alpha version of himself and change his interaction with his woman. But that's only because that man was alpha in the beginning. That man was striving to be the most alpha version of himself when he met that woman, and he let himself go. He let himself go and backslide into the beta male thought processes of the men around him, of the society around him. But whatever that woman was attracted to in the beginning, if you revert back to that, her behavior goes the same. It reverts as well. If you want to reverse her behavior, revert back to who you were.
I told her that she shouldn't procrastinate, and I'll probably be gone if she has to wait. Yeah, like that right there. I track paper with my paper mate. And place the stacks up in the safe. Let's get this bag and stash away a getaway bag in the back just in case we gotta catch a case. Mask on face. Hey, I told her that she shouldn't procrastinate, and I'll probably be gone if she has to wait. She can either come with 24/20 now or 24/20s after the date. Put the cash on my plate. I'm at the 50-yard line. You gonna have to meet me halfway. I'm back like I left my strap as I stray on the straight and narrow, strategically trailblazing my own pathways. As I pay them no never mind and let them bastards hate. They say money make the world go round, so watch me navigate. Yeah. Watch me navigate. Navigating our world. You know what I'm talking about? In the now. Yeah. That's the third segment of the Palmcast. You know what I'm saying? Mistah Nepalm's neighborhood. You know what I'm talking about? You want to hear that again? Hold on.
If you want to reverse her behavior, revert back to who you were. If you were striving to be the most alpha version of yourself when you met the woman. See, when your mind is made up that you are going to take control of your life and take control of your circumstances and your conditions, one thing happens. You wake up one day and you view everything differently. The people around you, your beta male partners, you start to see exactly how beta they are. But first you have to see exactly how beta you are. See, when a man is overweight, he has no right to look at an overweight woman and tell her about her weight. You can't be overweight and tell someone about their weight, because the first thing you have to do is fix your own weight. You can't be broke and tell somebody about money, because the first thing you have to do is fix your own finances. And it's the same thing with being alpha, man. You can't tell beta males how to become the most alpha version of themselves when you still beta as hell. That's not how this goes. So I want you men to stop thinking that just because you know this information, that suddenly you're alpha. I want you to stop thinking that just because you started listening to red pill content 2 or 3 months ago, that all of a sudden you red pill now. No, the hell you're not. You're simply embracing the fact that you've been a sucker. You're embracing the fact that you have been blue pill. You're embracing the fact that you have been a beta male simp mangina. But there's a long journey. At least 3 years. Every man is going to take at least 3 years to make that transition. Because you start off with the thing that presses you the most. And for most men, you start off with women. Well, guess what happens when you start off with women? When you assert yourself and assert your alpha energy with women, guess what happens? You go to the job and you feel different about the way your supervisor been talking to you. So now you have the dilemma of dealing with that. Are you going to continue to feel like a beta male simp mangina every time he says something to you? You could do that before because you embraced your beta male ideology. Now that you're embracing alpha male ideology, it's not going to be as easy to just push that under the rug. You see, your whole life changes when you start to embrace your own alpha energy. When you start to align alpha information with your internal alpha energy, everything you do changes. Your entire outlook on everything changes. You don't care what anyone says. You do what's best for you. You understand? I don't do a whole lot of talk about that. Because there are men who brag about the type of woman they got, and all the while, man, that woman ain't doing that, man, but running game on him the whole time. But he ain't gamed up enough to know she running game on him. It ain't my job to tell you what type of woman to have as far as her physical characteristics go. It's my job to tell you what an alpha male ain't gonna put up with when it comes to this interaction with women, when it comes to this interaction with men, when it comes to this interaction with the world. That's what my mission is. My mission is to make sure that I give you valuable information that you can use in every facet of life. I don't have time to tell you what kind of job you should have. I don't have time to tell you what kind of business you should start. Hey man, listen, I can give you some information on some businesses, but you can't ask me, well, what kind of business should I start? Man, that got to come from internal. If you still got to ask questions about what kind of business you should start, then you're not ready to start a business. If you still have to ask questions about what kind of woman you should have, then you're not ready to have a woman. If you have to ask, what kind of exercise should I do? Then you're not equipped to exercise without a trainer. But you have to be willing to accept the truths of your life when it comes to these things. If all your partners are overweight, you're not fit. I can promise you that. Unless you're just a guy who has a big chick fetish. If all of your women are overweight, you are not fit. If all of your partners are broke, you are not paid. Alpha is about elevation. You don't care about people when you elevate. You care about levels. You're elevating to the next level of life. So when people say level up, hey man, alphas, we've been leveling up forever, but we don't call it leveling up. We call it progression. As you progress to the next stage of your life, damn near all the people on the current level are going to be left behind. Always accept the fact that the people in your life are there temporarily. All it takes for you to change one thing in your life and you see people for who they are. See, you can't worry about how people respond to what you're doing. That's what you get caught up in when you worry about your partners not being, oh, my partners won't listen to me. I try to give them this game, man, they just won't listen. Well, so what? Stop giving it to them. You see what I'm saying? A bunch of other men aren't ready to go. Everybody wants to listen to positive content that make a man feel good about himself. But I don't make content to make you feel good about yourself. I make content to make you remember the decisions you made and help you validate to yourself that they were good decisions, because the pressure is on you to revert back to being beta. That's why you're still holding on to your beta partners, because you ain't ready to go on and be alpha. You're not ready for the lonely life of alpha. That's the problem with a bunch of these guys. They're not ready for the lonely life of alpha. And when I mean lonely life, I don't mean you're not going to have people around you. I mean that people going to be in your life for seasons. There may be some hangers on, man, some people that cling and they stay on forever, man. But they're going to be far and few in between. The majority of the people that you come into contact with are going to be there for a season. I've known this my whole life. You understand? So when I'm tight with somebody and we taking care of some business or we doing something, when that business is over, man, I'm cool with never talking to a person again. I know that's how this progression for me goes. I know how the Most High works this in my life. Hey, man, I got a mission I'm on. And if my mission is 100 miles away from where I am right now and you want to stay right here, guess what? When I get 100 miles ahead, you're in the past. Never go back to the past. And that's the problem with a lot of these guys who ask this question. You believe that your partners are going to come with you because you don't want to leave your partners in the past. Well, guess what? You should leave everything from your past in the past, because your past, you was beta as hell. Your past was the past of a beta male simp mangina. Your past was the past of a man who let women treat him any kind of way. Your past was the past of a man who took all kind of disrespect from other men. Your past was the past of a man who spent years, wasted years of his life doing something he absolutely hated and sold himself out, sold out his freedom, sold out his peace of mind for a check. Your past is the past of a man who didn't stand up for himself every time he should have. Your past is the past of a man who was running up in some church, letting some man tell you that you should be a beta male, simp mangina, feminine dude, and be more like your woman, and turn the other cheek, and do all these things, and submit, and bow down. Those are the type of things that your past was constructed of. And you should be damn sure ready to put those things behind you, man. Those aren't things you should be proud of. Just like if your partners is beta male, simp manginas, you should be embarrassed for being partners with them that long. Them boys is simps. A grown simp ain't gonna never change. A grown simp ain't gonna never change. I promise you that. A man who's been a simp his whole life, once he becomes an adult, he's not gonna change. He's happy to be a simp, because I'm gonna be honest with you, there are benefits to being a simp depending on how you view it. If you view the world from a beta male perspective, then there are benefits to being a beta male. You get to have a wife. You get to have two wives if you want to, not at the same time, because that's what alpha males do. But you get to have a wife, and then you get to divorce her and have another wife, and you get to keep on having wives. You get to create a family and have this huge family gathering and do all of these things, man. You get to do those things, but you get to do them from a position of submission. You can do those things as an alpha male, but the majority of the time men do those things from a position of submission. You're not in a position of power, man. If there's anybody you call boss. If anybody can walk up to you and say, hey, I know your boss. That's not a position of power. And that's just the reality of it. I'm not saying anything about anyone having a job, man. You got to do what you got to do to get your money. But what we talk about, man, is alpha energy right here. We talk about the things, the tough decisions that those men make who want to be alpha. We're talking about the tough decisions that those men make who don't want to live in a position of submission in their lives. We're talking about the tough decisions that those men make who want to be in absolute and total control of their movements. We're talking about those men who make the terribly tough decision to live the lonely life of alpha. And until you're ready to do that, you're going to always have questions about why your beta male partners won't listen. Why the woman that you with won't accept the fact that you need to move on to better yourself. Had a young brother come in and say that in the comment. Why she won't accept that I want to move on? I don't have a nice way to answer that. My answer is, why in the hell do you care what she accepts or cares about? If you know this is what it takes to better yourself, why are you discussing that, man, trying to get a woman to see that? Because you're not ready to leave her. Let me tell you something, brothers. And this reality of this. If you want to be the most alpha version of yourself, you got to be willing to part with the most beta version of yourself. You don't have a choice. Anything that ties you to your beta male past has to be eliminated, or you're going to forever be that same beta male. You can't grow into the most alpha version of yourself when everything around you reminds you of the most beta version of yourself. And this is one of the realest things I could tell you, men, man. There's a lot of things I could say, but this is hella real. This is hella real. You got to be willing to break yourself down to your very least compound in order to build yourself back up. Because you're talking and thinking like you live in a house made of brick, but you live in a house made of straw. Only thing strong about the house is the foundation. So what does that mean? You got to tear it down to the foundation and build it back up from scratch. And this time, don't use no damn straw. Hey, man, y'all be safe out there, man. Y'all put God first and keep grinding and growing, my brother.
I'm gonna hear that again, hold on. She can either come with 24 20s now or she can either come with 24 20 now or 24 20s after the date. So really, that's supposed to go with the top part. I attract paper with my paper mate. So we're gonna run through the whole thing. I attract paper with my paper mate in place. The stacks up in the safe. Let's get this bag and stash a getaway bag in the back just in case we gotta catch a case. Mask on face. Hey, I told her that she shouldn't procrastinate, and I'll probably be gone if she has to wait. She can either come with 24 20 now or 24 20s after the date. Put the cash on my plate. I'm at the 50-yard line. You're gonna have to meet me halfway. I'm back like I left my strap as I stray on the straight and narrow, strategically trailblazing my own pathways as I pay them no never mind and let them bastards hate. They say money make the world go round, so watch me navigate. Yeah. Mine on the motherfucking million. Riding with this motherfucking Timmy. I'm talking about in my Louis bag. Yeah. Shout out to E, Hood Rich.
Yo, Pierre, you wanna come out here?
Yeah, young Metro, don't trust you, I'm gon' shoot you. Mine on the motherfucking milli. Rhyme with a motherfucking semi. Grind from the start to the finish. Pull up in the foreign, I pocket in the trenches. They say 230 on the dash. Drop it real fast, I'ma speed with no limit. No, we ain't going outside, thought it running my bag, but these fuck niggas in it. I be getting high in the trees, still stacking rats, money, all that I need. Still selling pounds of the weed, I leave it with a bro when I'm going overseas. Before I busted up, shit was already reeking. Niggas sipping lean, poppin' X, really geeking. And I'm rockin' water like ice, I can freeze it. When your bitch land, I'm a bookin' for season. Niggas hanging on the kill for no reason. Gonna drip sauce, let it sprinkle like the season. Rockin' all white when I'm walking in the meeting. My nigga flying kites down the road, they some demons. Niggas start kicking that whole shit cheater. I only fuck her once or twice, a nigga, I don't believe her. I try to pop a Percocet and put me up a leader. I drop a dish scale in the bowl, let it heat up. Chanel in, still can't see us. And I'm sitting back, counting money with my feet up. I been sending rats to my cuz on the kiosk. I'ma send that pack down the road till you get out. Let the bitch stick the dope deep in the miss house. I been putting this shit up at his house. Drippin' on these bitches through a drizzle out. That a nigga made it at the sis house. Mine on the motherfucking milli. Ride with a motherfucking semi. Grind from the start to the finish. Pull up in the foreign, I pocket in the trenches. They say 230 on the dash. Drop it real fast, I'ma speed with no limit. No, we ain't going outside, thought it running my bag, but these fuck niggas in it. Fly in the jet, ride far and I do that. 100,000 worth of ice in my Louis bag. Saint Laurent kicking these bitches like who that? Rich nigga came from the hood, but you knew that. Ice on my neck, it look like sleep. Plain Jane band on the ice, that petite. Don't cut that hoe, she a freak. I'm up getting money, don't know how to sleep. I fucked that little bitch and I fucked up the sheets. Ice all over me like I was a crematory. Mine on a million, ain't thinking about enemies. Shoot a nigga down like J.L. Kennedy. Selling chickens, you can come get a 10-piece. Jumped out the plane with the Fendi. Jumped in the farm with the Simmons. Baby Draco hold a 50. Drink it on me and it send me. Mine on the motherfucking milli. Ride with a motherfucking semi. Grind from the start to the finish. Pull up in the foreign, I pocket in the trenches. They say 230 on the dash. Drop it real fast, I'ma speed with no limit. No, we ain't going outside, thought it running my bag, but these fuck niggas in it. Mine on the motherfucking milli. Ride Grind with a motherfucker, see me. Grind from the start to the finish. Pull up in the foreign, I park it in the trenches. They say 230 on the dash. Drop it real fast, I'ma speed with no limit. No, we ain't going outside, thought it running my bag, but he fuck niggas in me.
Are you ready to be heard? Learn music production online at the Los Angeles Recording School, a division of the Los Angeles Film School. Learn how to mold your music into a career while protecting and promoting your songs.